Hi, welcome to another Cantonese tutorial. I'm a native Cantonese speaker from Hong Kong, so here is how it works. First, I'll play an audio clip extracted from the radio with the script on screen, and then the second time I play it, I'll add explanations to it. If you see words highlighted in yellow, that means it's something special or grammar related. If you see words highlighted in blue, that means it's a vocabulary that I think learners may find it difficult. This tutorial is for intermediate to advanced learners, so if you are a beginner, I'm not sure if this is suitable for you, but you can still give it a shot and see if you can learn something from this video. So let's get started.
咁啊，琴日放開日假啦，係嘛？一日生路啦，都算係嘛 ？OK 啦，搞啲咩啊 ？KY
就做啲宗教活動咧，都係啦。
佛誕啊嘛，人哋
係喎，沖涼啊，即係嗰啲係嘛？
齋戒沐浴、
誦下經啊嗰啲咁樣。
誦經
係好似仲未誦完咁樣，嗰啲通有少少誦經 feel 啊，即係佢咁啊，未啊嘢咯，嘢咯嘢。其實誦經如果我哋咁樣即係亂咁誦咧。係咪都有功效㗎？
唔係，嗰個功效係即係其實冇乜功效㗎，即係你
內心平靜啫嘛追求。
即係你主要追
即係如果我好專心地求其成日係嘛，做唔做到一種即係淨化嘅效果？
哦，如果你即係
可能都會有。
如果你制心一處咧，即係一心不亂咧，其實可能就係得㗎。因為有時咧，以前有啲有個佛經，咪有個古仔咧，就係講咧，有個阿婆咧念咒啊。佢念錯咗啊！
即係本來念經變念
錯咗，但係佢專心喎，佢念咒念錯咗。
南無陀利阿咁樣啊，即係
唔係即係佢
嗰個好似係蘇爺蘇高即係錯晒啲字咁樣。係
啦，咪即係嗰啲咒咧，咪好多時候有個口字部咧，嗰啲音係讀錯晒。
即係你個心喺度嘅時候，
係啦。
嗱，因為佢好虔誠地去念一個咒語，點知佢念錯晒，但因為佢虔誠啊，咁嗰件事變一件好事係咪？
即係已經唔關嗰個內容事啦，係佢嘅心態嗰個。
心誠則靈啊嘛。
有個嗰個講法係有個婆婆念嗰個字，佢完全讀錯晒嘅，因為嗱有個咒語就叫做 Om Mani Padme Hum 嘅，好多人都聽過啦，係啊。但係佢嗰個字咧，就係臨尾嗰個空字咧，就喺口字邊有隻牛咁樣嘅。咁嗰個婆婆就念到啱你班名牛啊。咁念錯咗，俾人矯正咗佢之後，
又會咁嘅 melody 唱咗第二句字唔啱音，照唱咗落去咁多年係嘛？
係啦，咁但係有個人就話俾佢聽啦，一話俾佢聽，你讀錯咗之後咧，佢當堂個心好唔好受。哦，念翻正，但係念翻正就越念越就烏哩馬查，
即係反而二創歌詞嗰個版本仲好。
係啦，咁就算啦，跟住啲大師就算。
佢就立地成佛啦，因為佢放下屠刀。
你真係念翻錯嗰個啦，即係因為有時候就係咁。
我啲譬如咁啊，琴日放開日假啦，係嘛？一日生路啦，都算係嘛 ？OK 啦，搞啲咩啊 ？KY
Throughout this conversation, you'll see them placing words that should have been at the beginning of the sentence at the end. The grammatically correct way to say this should be 都算一日生路啦。都算 means can be considered as, but a lot of the time this won't be translated. So if I say 都算唔錯啦, this will usually be translated to it's alright, but the implication behind is it can be considered as alright. Let me break this down step by step. 路 is a path, and 生 is life or to be alive. So literally, this means a path to life. 都算 is considered to be, right? So although you don't know what 一日生路 means, what you do know is that this phrase is considered as something. So what could it be? Well, the only answer would be 琴日放咗一日假. So the literal meaning of what he said is 琴日放咗一日假 is considered as 一日生路. So 放咗一日假 is took a day off. So what he is saying is taking a day off is a way to take your life back for one day, because usually people hate going to work and there's no life when working. 係嘛 or 係話 is a concatenated form of 係咪呀. Okay here means fine or is fine. So if someone asks me, Is the food good in Hong Kong? Then I can say OK 啦 which means it's fine, nothing spectacular. 搞咗啲咩 is another way to say what did you do?
搞啲咩啊 ？KY
就做啲宗教活動咧，都係啦。
佛誕啊嘛，人
哋is the equivalent of in English. This is one of the best ways to see if a person speaking fluent Cantonese is from mainland or non-mainland. Mainland people usually pronounce the sound when they are thinking, while we pronounce instead. ER is just a way to write this sound. Obviously, there's no R sound in this 都係 means just. So this line means just some religious activities. 佛誕 is a Buddhist festival that is celebrated in most East Asia commemorating the birth of the Prince Siddhartha Gautama. In Chinese is 釋迦牟尼, who was the founder of Buddhism. Most of the people in Hong Kong take this day off from work. You can use 人哋 to refer to others. So if you say 人哋生日啊嘛, this means it's someone's birthday. You sometimes can use 人哋 to refer to yourself, but as a Cantonese learner, I think it's safer to not use this to refer to yourself. In this line, it's actually a little tricky here. 佛誕啊嘛人哋 actually implies that he is a Buddhist.
佛誕啊嘛人哋
係喎，沖涼啊，即係嗰啲係嘛？
齋戒沐浴、
誦下經啊嗰啲咁樣。
誦經
係啊。
沖涼 is to take a shower. Here he's talking about what a Buddhist does on this holiday. 齋戒沐浴 is also what a Buddhist does on this holiday. This is all I know. I'm not religious. You can Google it if you are interested. 嗰啲咁樣 is something like that. 誦經 is to chant a scripture. So here it would be chanting the Buddhist scripture. You may have noticed that there is a ha in between. You can use this when you are suggesting something or giving examples. So if someone says, I don't know what to do to kill time, then I can say, 睇下 YouTube 咯, which I'm suggesting him watch YouTube to kill time. In this line, because he said 嗰啲咁樣, it's more like giving examples of the religious activities he did.
係好似仲未種完咁樣，嗰啲通有少少誦經 feel 嘛，即係佢咁啊未啊嘢咯嘢咯嘢。其實誦經如果我哋咁樣即係亂咁誦咧，係咪都有功效㗎？
唔係嗰個功效係即係其實冇乜功效㗎，即係你
內心平靜啫嘛追求。
Feel here is used as a noun. He is saying the tone KY is speaking is like he is chanting the scripture. We usually pronounce 即係 as 齋. 亂禁 is to do something wrong. When you use this, usually you know you are doing something wrong, but you still do it anyway for whatever reasons. So 亂禁頌 is to chant the scripture wrong. He knows he's chanting the scripture wrong because he's just mimicking what chanting it sounds like. 內心平靜 is to have peace in mind. 追求 is to pursue something. This is another example of quote-unquote incorrect word order. Although Chinese is an SVO language, we sometimes put the verb at the end. I believe that's because we always say what's come to mind first, which isn't necessarily coherent, so we'll add words at the end of the sentence to complete the meaning.
即係你主要即
係如果我好專心地求其成日咁樣話，做唔做到一種即係淨化嘅效果？
哦，如果你即
可能都會有。
如果你制心一處咧，即係一心不亂咧，其實可能就係得㗎。因為有時咧，以前有啲有個佛經，咪有個古仔咧，就係講咧，有個阿婆咧念咒啊，佢念錯咗啊，即係
求其 can mean to do something sloppily, but here it means the same as 亂禁。淨化 is to purify one's heart. 制心一處 is a Buddhist term, which he then explains it as 一心不亂, which is also a Buddhist term, but it's more intelligible. Not taking the Buddhist meaning into account, it means to stay focused. 佛經 is the Buddhist scripture. 古仔 is a story. 念咒 is similar to chanting scriptures, but instead of scriptures, you are chanting something evil. But a lot of the time, we use them interchangeably, so is it evil or not depends on the context. In this conversation, I don't think they are referring to anything evil.
即係本來念經變念
錯咗，但係佢專心喎。佢念咒念錯咗，
南無陀利柯咁樣啊，真係
唔係即係
南無陀利柯
嗰個好似係
蘇爺爺蘇高即係錯晒啲字咁樣。
係啦，咪即係嗰啲咒咧，咪好多時候有個口字部咧，嗰啲音係讀錯晒。
即係你個心。
You can use 本來變咗 when something unexpected came out. So, for example, 本來係橙汁變咗蘋果汁。Means that you expected orange juice, but you got apple juice instead. The correct Buddhist phrase is 南無阿彌陀佛. I don't know what it means. It's a Buddhist thing. He's changing the words to the wrong order to make fun of the old lady chanting the scripture wrong. I believe 唔係 here is like a filler word more than anything. This is an example to tell someone how to write a word. 部 is 部首. If you are not a beginner, you should know what 部首 is. So we can imagine that the scripture is full of words with a 口 on the left.
即係你個心喺度嘅時候，
係啦。
嗱，因為佢好虔誠地去念一個咒語，點知佢念錯晒，但係因為佢虔誠啊，咁嗰件事變一件好事係咪？
即係已經唔關嗰個內容事啦，係佢嘅心態嗰個。
心誠則靈啊嘛。
虔誠 is pious. 心態 is attitude. 唔關事 means something has nothing to do with another thing. So 唔關嗰個內容事 means something has nothing to do with the content of the scripture. So what is something? Well, they are discussing whether chanting the scripture wrong can still purify your heart. So what he means is whether or not you can purify your heart has nothing to do with the scripture itself, but the attitude towards what you are chanting. 心誠則靈 means if you truly believe in something from the bottom of your heart, it will go the way you want it to be.
有個講法係有個婆婆念嗰個字，佢完全讀錯晒嘅，因為嗱有個咒語就叫做 Om Mani Padme Hum 嘅，好多人都好熟嘅。但係佢嗰個字咧，就係臨尾嗰個空字咧，就喺口字邊有隻牛咁樣嘅。咁嗰個婆婆就念到 Om Mani Padme牛啊，咁念錯咗，俾人矯正咗佢之後，
又會咁嘅 melody 唱咗第二句字唔啱音，照唱咗落去咁多年係嘛？
This is another way to tell someone how to write a character. So if I follow his guidance, 口字邊有隻牛, I would write something like this. 唔啱音 is something in an incorrect pitch or note. You may be wondering, how can a word be in the wrong pitch or note? Well, seems like when they chant the scripture, they have to follow some kind of melody. And in Cantonese songs, you cannot just shove random words into a melody. You have to match the tone of the words or the lyrics to the melody. So if do is this pitch, do, you can't put a first tone word in do. If you put a first tone word, it will be, for example, yat, yat, yat. Do, ya, right? Yeah, it's not the same pitch, and people won't know what you are singing. You can use 照落去 to say continue to do something. So 照唱落去 means to continue to sing.
咁多年係嘛？
係啦，咁但係有個人就話俾佢聽啦，一話俾佢聽，你讀錯咗之後咧，佢當堂個心好唔好受。練翻正，但係練翻正就越練越就烏哩馬查。
即係反而二創歌詞嗰個版本仲好。
唔好受 is quite difficult to translate because it's actually a mixture of feelings. One example, if someone says some mean things to you, like, oh, you are very ugly. You can feel sad, unhappy, mad, and maybe if he's your best friend, you may feel disappointed. So 唔好受 is basically a mixture of those, like maybe 10% of sadness, 20% of anger, and so on and so forth. So here the old lady was told that she has been chanting the scripture wrong, and maybe that's important to her, and then like she doesn't know what to do, and like all this panicking and knowing the truth makes her feel 唔好受. You can use 當堂 when something happens at the exact moment of something or right after something happened. 當堂個心好唔好受 means that the old lady has that mixture of feelings right after the man told her she was chanting the scripture wrong. 烏哩馬茶 is a mess, basically. The basic meaning is a mess. So in here, the old lady was told the correct way to chant the scripture, but it wasn't any better and it's a mess in a way that she was better off chanting the wrong version. 二創 is the short form of 二次創作, which is derivative work. So 二創歌詞 is derivative lyrics from a song. Here this phrase is used like a joke. I'm not sure if he intended this as a joke, but because the old lady didn't actually do any derivative work, she just chanted the scripture wrong. So I guess it's supposed to be a joke.
本仲好
係啦，咁就算啦，跟住啲大師就算啦，
佢就立地成佛啦，因為佢放下屠刀。
你真係練翻錯嗰個啦，即係有時候就係咁。
You can use 算啦 to leave something as it is. So the old lady was chanting the scripture wrong, but it wasn't any better even if she chanted correctly. When you say 咁就算啦, that means like you don't need to worry about it, just chant the way you chanted before. 放下屠刀，立地成佛 means to make up for mistakes you made in the past. I think she is using this phrase wrong in this context, so there's no implications for what she said. So unfortunately, the last video was taken down due to copyright issues. I have no idea what shows to use other than shows from TVB. If you have any TV show in mind with a specific portion of that, like with timestamp, please comment down below. Because like someone said Phil TV was a good option, but I watched some Phil TV series and it just doesn't feel like it's suitable for learning Cantonese. And I think I'll have to use the radio. If this video doesn't get taken down again, then I guess I will have to use the radio for now. If you don't like this format, I think I'll have to do one of those videos like top 10 Cantonese phrases. Like this is the least thing I want to do. So like I want you guys to learn from actual conversations. So yeah, let me know what you think. Like does it work for you if I use the radio, or can I do anything better? Yeah. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you can speak Cantonese as fluently as your native language one day.